Happening now, a rally against racism is slated to take place tomorrow here in Jamestown. We hear from the city council president about his plans to protect historic statues citywide. Plus, a woman recalling her close call with Mother Nature after lightning strikes her residence.
Well, those rain showers have pretty much ended for the afternoon. We'll get one dry day this weekend, then it's back to the humidity. We'll talk about it in detail next as the news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
This weekend's kickoff to the Chautauqua Lake Pops concert series is in limbo amid a lawsuit seeking to stop that production. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The group's founder, Dan Dahl-Pera, tells us he's awaiting on more guidance from the New York State DEC to make the final call about the fate of tomorrow's show. This after a lawsuit was filed last week in Chautauqua County Supreme Court aiming to halt their production. Plaintiffs from Mayville, DeWittville, and Ohio accused the Pops, Dahl-Pera, and the village of Mayville of attempting to operate without proper environmental permits. Specifically, some are upset about the noise that this concert causes.
We're fighting over something that doesn't even need to be fought over. And as far as those other people that feel that their life has been ruined because they can hear it, they're 2 miles away. And the sound checks we did with professionals going to their location while we're having a concert were probably showed up less than this conversation I'm having with you right now. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And we've got the facts to submit. We submitted it with a sound report.
He says if he doesn't hear back from the DEC by noon today, the show likely won't go on. Furthermore, he's disappointed in the whole debacle, saying he has community support, citing a petition gaining over 2,000 signatures in favor of the show. A Jamestown City Councilman expressing his concern following 2 separate incidents in as many months involving statues at Dow Park. Council President Tony Dole spoke with us yesterday in wake of a recent incident involving the vandalism of multiple statues. Jamestown police say that anti-Semitic and anti-African American graffiti was sprayed onto them. Dole explains how the graffiti, along with many incidences involving statues being stolen from the park, represents a recent trend that is abnormal when looking at the city's history with those monuments.
It's really kind of upsetting and disconcerting when you think about the history of those statues going all the way back. That was something that our former councilman, Vivian Taylor, and his wife Lula, who was a county legislator, and many other people in the community, and then the African American community, as well as some of the foundations. This was a big project, and it was a very successful project, and it has stood the test of time. And it was.
The Jamestown Justice Coalition is holding a rally tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at Dow Park. You can watch that live right here on WNY News Now. Students and teachers in the Empire State will not be required to wear a mask if they're attending summer school this year. That's according to the Star-Gazette, who says the State Department of Health made the decision Wednesday. They say that school districts can follow the same masking rules that summer camps and childcare facilities have to adhere to now. That means that masks aren't required unless an individual school district mandates them. However, the DOH still strongly encourages face coverings indoor when vaccination status is unknown. Masks will also still be required on school buses. No decision has been made yet for the new academic year in the fall, but the DOH did say that more information will be shared soon. Well, this week's storms damaged trees and other properties, as well as brought down power lines in Warren and Youngsville, Pennsylvania. At Youngsville Cemetery, our news partner WNY News Now found broken tombstones. Workers spent the morning cutting up trees and limbs that had fallen there. Mayor Scott Nelson says the storm took a straight line path, which started at his house just blocks away from that cemetery, and then continued through the town.
I just walked in the door and it hadn't even been raining, and then all of a sudden it was raining, and then the winds just picked up. And I would say probably some of the most strongest winds we've had in a long time. There's a lot of limbs, a lot of leaves they're covering, but there's a lot of trees down too, but our crew's been really good at trying to get things cleaned up.
It was over my driveway, and I have bigger than the normal sluice is 18 inches. I got a 24 inch, and it's over top of that, so we had a tremendous amount of rain.
Youngsville Borough officials said the cemetery suffered the worst damage. They expect the cleanup to take around 3 to 4 days. Well, a Jamestown woman is recounting her close call with Mother Nature after a lightning bolt struck her Liberty Street residence this week, frying many of her electronics. WNY News Now's Jason Ruttman shares her story.
At roughly 7:10 Wednesday night, Michelle Vullo and her longtime boyfriend were riding out the storm that was blanketing Jamestown when
we heard a tremendous boom, immediately coinciding with a blackout in our house. It sounded like 3 double-barrel shotguns going off at close range at the same time.
After a moment of initial confusion, Vullo's boyfriend called the fire department. She says within 5 minutes, firefighters were at her home to investigate. No one was exactly sure where the blast first made contact, but things became more clear in the morning.
In the light of day, we did see some damage to this pine tree behind the garage. So we now believe, based on the fact that one of the outlets in the garage was actually blown apart that had an appliance plugged into it, we now believe that it hit the tree, grounded through the garage, traveled along the underground ground line, and closed out about 4 of the breakers in the panel box.
With many electronics still plugged in, she says quite a few items will have to be replaced.
A satellite dish receiver, that actually won't even power back on. The television itself would not power back on. The computer powers on but has no output whatsoever. And of course that was a lot of static and voltage coming through. Of course the outlet fire that happened from attempting to turn on the breaker, the kitchen light fixture, had a security camera DVR.
The tenant cites approximately $1,200 to $1,500 of electronic replacement damages, with the majority being covered by renter's insurance.
Even though we had a lot of damage last night and it was very stressful and there was a lot of phone calls to make, this morning we were able to kind of take a look and say, hey, at least nobody was hurt. Nobody was in the bathtub or shower. Yeah. Nothing did catch on major fire. We had that small outlet fire, but beyond that, no further hot spots or anything, or sparks. So it could have been much, much worse.
In classic Jamestown fashion, the neighbors have been hugely supportive as well.
Offering anything we might need, freezer space, if we needed dinner, coffee, you name it, they were there to offer. So that was amazing. That's part of the community, why we are here.
Ultimately, the whole fiasco ended without much more affair. For WNY News Now, I'm Jason Ruttman.
Jason, thank you. Wow, that's incredible. So happy nobody got hurt there, Dakota.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing we talk about all the time. Lightning is frightening. And, in terms of all the weather things that happen, the one thing I am deathly afraid of is lightning. And that's the reason why, because we don't know where that next cloud-to-ground lightning strike is going to be. It could be 30 miles away. It could be right in your own backyard. Yeah. I mean, that's the unknown we have with lightning. And
in this case, it definitely was. So we're thankful that she and her boyfriend are okay. We're thankful to you for joining into our broadcast today. Good to see Dawn. Good to see Susan, Anna, Crystal, Dave, Joanna, Wendy, and William. Hopefully you all are having a great Friday out there. Well, speaking of the weather, we got that much needed relief now from some of these severe storms coming our way, Dakota.
Yeah, we do. I mean, today is going to be a much quieter day than it has been. But yeah, we still could see a few rain showers out there. Over Olean, you can see those dark clouds. There's actually a little bit of a rain shower just a little bit to north of the Olean camera site. 68 there right now with that dew point at 68. And you see those little scattered showers popping up there. That's pretty much what's going to be the case throughout the day today. And it's not going to be raining everywhere like it was the past couple of days. It's mainly going to be scattered on again, off again type of rain. And the best chance where it really is going to be really from this morning until maybe about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Then we should dry things out. 70 is only what we managed yesterday. 64 is where we started the day. There's the only 100-degree day recorded in Jamestown history happened on this day back in 1936. The only time we've hit it was back in 1936. Haven't hit it since then. And 41 is a record low back in 1942. So through the afternoon, mostly cloudy to complete overcast. There's that chance for that light rain shower. And it's going to be another cool day. 66 on the hills, 73 across the lower elevations, which includes the Lake Erie shoreline with a northwest wind 10 to 15. Now tomorrow is going to be a nice day, but then as July continues, we get more rain, more storms, and more humidity. We'll talk about it with that 7-day later in the show. Justin?
All right, 'tis the summer season out there, Dakota. We'll see you back in 10 minutes. Well, the start of the Tokyo Olympics is just weeks away, and COVID-19 still a concern there. Due to an increase in cases, Japan has declared a coronavirus state of emergency in Tokyo. No spectators will be allowed at Olympic venues in the city, which will help. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's confident in the coronavirus safety protocols at those games. The First Lady is expected to be there, and he says she'll be safe.
The protocols that are in place to protect them are really quite strict and stringent. Many of them, maybe the majority of them, I think, are going to be vaccinated, but the care that's being taken to avoid the spread there is really something that I think is really quite important.
Now, he also noticed the strict and stringent protocols in place for athletes, which he describes as, quote, impressive. Well, the highly contagious Delta variant is raising two big questions around COVID-19 vaccinations. First, when might fully vaccinated Americans need a booster dose? And how quickly will cases spread among those who are unvaccinated? Health experts now weighing in. Karen Kafa has the details from Washington.
The CDC and FDA say Americans fully vaccinated against COVID-19 don't need a booster yet. The statement just hours after Pfizer said its vaccine is seeing waning immunity and they'll seek emergency FDA authorization for a booster dose next month. But doctors say don't panic if you're vaccinated.
The answer is that our vaccines still are very, very effective in keeping us out of the hospital, in averting severe disease. That's what they were designed to do.
This as the highly contagious Delta variant accounts for more than half of new U.S. COVID cases in the last 2 weeks, the CDC estimates.
It is currently surging in pockets of the country with low vaccination rates.
24 states have seen new cases increase by 10% or more in the last week, per Johns Hopkins University data. States with rates of full vaccination below the national average of 47.7%, like Arkansas, particularly vulnerable.
Over the past month, we have seen a significant increase in the number of COVID cases, active cases, and hospitalizations.
And in states with higher rates like California, which tops 60%, the unvaccinated fueling recent upward trends.
Every patient that I've had to hospitalize due to COVID-19 has been unvaccinated.
Experts fear more infections could mean more mutations of the virus and more deadly variants to come. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Karen, thank you. Coming up next, the role New York's governor is no longer serving in. And later, we're live at Chautauqua County's Humane Society for our Pet of the Week segment. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph, just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's term as the head of the National Governors Association has come to an end. Cuomo will be replaced by Arkansas's governor. He took over the role during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. He says the pandemic highlighted how important state leadership is.
They were probably the most consequential decisions that governors had made in generations. They were literally about life and death. You make the wrong decision, people could die.
Cuomo explains the last year has been transformational for the world and for governors nationwide. Well, the manufacturer of OxyContin has agreed to pay billions of dollars to 15 states, including New York, to end a years-long legal fight. Purdue Pharma settled a lawsuit claiming its executives lied about the addictive nature of the drugs. As part of the settlement, members of the Sackler family, who founded the company, will pay out more than $4 billion to states over the next 9 years. The Sacklers must give up control of the family foundation and hand over $175 million in assets to charities dedicated to ending the opioid crisis.
The Sacklers will be permanently banned from the opioid business. Purdue Pharma will cease to exist. Every Sackler director and all of their CEOs have been required to answer our questions under oath. And the Sackler name won't be on any more buildings or hospital wings or museums.
The Sacklers are protected from future opioid epidemic-related litigation. As part of this settlement, a federal judge must approve the agreement first. Well, President Joe Biden yesterday announced that the U.S. will end its war in Afghanistan by the end of August, ahead of the original September 11th deadline. This comes as the Taliban makes significant gains across the country. Reed Binion reports that Biden is defending his decision to withdraw.
I will not send another generation of Americans to war in Afghanistan with no reasonable expectation of achieving a different outcome.
President Biden Thursday vowing to end America's longest war.
I believe that this is the right decision and, quite frankly, overdue.
Biden says all American combat troops will be out of Afghanistan by August 31st, despite major Taliban gains and a growing fear that without American military support, the Afghan government will collapse.
I think the Taliban will most certainly take charge in Afghanistan. That's not good news. But clearly, we have to look at the very large picture as a result of 2 decades in Afghanistan.
Biden arguing the 20-year war could not be won militarily.
There is no mission accomplished.
The next mission to evacuate thousands of Afghans now targeted by the Taliban for working alongside U.S. troops.
This has been a priority of ours even before this military withdrawal began.
It's unclear exactly how many Afghans the U.S. will evacuate or which countries they will relocate to while waiting on their visa applications and before the drawdown is complete. Biden committing to allow them to come to the United States.
There is a home for you in the United States if you so choose, and we will stand with you just as you stood with us.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
During his remarks, President Biden saying he did not think the U.S. would ever be able to redirect the course of Afghanistan and that, quote, it's the right and responsibility of the Afghan people alone to decide their future. Well, Friday, July 9th is no ordinary cookie cutter kind of day. It's a time to celebrate an all-American favorite treat. That's because it's National Sugar Cookie Day. The original sugar cookie is believed to have originated way back in the 1700s. German Protestant settlers called it the Nazareth cookie. But that name didn't catch on, and today we know even popular and delicious treat as sugar cookies. We'll celebrate National Sugar Cookie Day by making your own. It only takes sugar, flour, butter, eggs, vanilla, and a little bit of baking powder. Not too much. Even though it can be plain in appearance, it can look just as good as it tastes with a little creativity like adding sprinkles or even maybe an editable glitter. Oh boy. You know what I mean. You can eat it. It's glitter that you can eat. Edible glitter. Thank you, producer. All I got to do is hear it, and I can say it.
Oh, Justin.
TGIF, everybody. Thanks for joining us for
And he
WNY
does
News
news
Now.
for a living, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
know, right? It is a hard word to say. And there was normally, they break it apart for me, but not today. It's okay. Good to see Todd. Good to see Seth. Todd says, oh, cool. He just made a batches of cookies. Good timing. Good timing. Great to see Seth and Brian. Hopefully you all are having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in to WNY News Now. Well, Dakota, as we mentioned at the top of the show, really crazy, crazy weather this week, and I think a lot of people are looking for a break. However, I know that more rain is in the forecast over the next couple of days. It's tough. It's summer. I mean, it's like we get those thunderstorms. You mentioned expect the unexpected because it comes. Sorry.
Inside joke.
It's an inside joke.
Let's take a look at
It
the
just
graphics.
comes, folks. We don't know where it comes from, but
yes, that's an inside joke, ladies and
it's one
gentlemen.
of our favorite politicians.
Yeah, we're
And
not going to get into that.
Yeah, if I say it, I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Let's take a look at the rainfall totals from yesterday. We didn't get as much rain as the models had suggested, but still, when you get over 3/4 of an inch worth of rain in one day, that's nothing to sneeze at there. In Kennedy, about to 8,700ths of an inch. Faulkner, 6,900ths. Jamestown at the airport, 6,500ths. Salamanca, also 6,500ths. Fredonia, 5,400ths. In Mayville, half an inch. So again, the rain was, that touch on and off yesterday, and some of that rain came down with heavy bursts yesterday. And speaking of the rain, it has been an absolutely wet start to July. Since July 1st, our rainfall total for the month is 5.53 inches. That is a surplus of nearly 4.25 inches to where we should be for this time of the year. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing how much rain we've had just in the first week and a half of July alone. And we've got more rain on the way. Don't you worry. Mother Nature's not giving up that easy. But along with that rain also comes with the influx of humidity. So it's going to be manageable for the next few days. But notice as we go into next week, whoop, the muggy meter shoots right up into that oppressive category. And it's going to be that same thing as it's been, muggy and then, it's been the same thing, for the past couple of weeks now. Tarp Skunks have a doubleheader today. Their first game, Niagara Power, game number 1, kicks off at 4 o'clock this evening. We are hopeful that any rain will stay away and they'll be able to get game number 1 in 69 down to 65 by the 7th inning. And game number 2 kicks off at 7 o'clock. And you'll see here 65 down to 62. And at the end of the second game, there will be the 4th of July fireworks. Remember, it was supposed to be last week, but because it kept getting rained out, they had to delay it. So again, this is the makeup date for the 4th of July fireworks at Russell Lee Dietrich Park, 7 o'clock, game number 2 for Niagara Power. Live look downtown from atop of the, from the News Now cam from atop of our building, actually here in downtown Jamestown. We're sitting at 64, relatively cool day with a west wind of 14. The dew point still up there at 62. So the dew point still is kind of a issue out there with the overall humidity. Tropical storm Elsa still hanging on here, now moving up the northeast coast off of New York City. The center is actually on Long Island now, and it's moving up into the New England area, hanging on to a tropical storm, strengthened a little bit. 50-mile-per-hour winds. Pressure is down to 1,000 millibars even, and because of this storm system moving out, this is part of the rain that we had yesterday interacted with the cold front. Now we're left with just a few scattered rain showers, and you'll see on First Defense Doppler radar, there's just a couple of these little light rain showers moving out towards Olean and then going out into Allegheny County. That's pretty much about it for now, but we still could see a few more rain showers through the afternoon. And Future Scan paints you that picture of a few of those scattered showers popping up through the afternoon, maybe a few more through the day. And again, it's not going to be like it was yesterday, just a few scattered touch and go showers. Tonight should be mainly dry but overcast. Tomorrow will be your best day. Partly sunny. There will be a small chance of an isolated shower, but I didn't even put it in the forecast because it's a small chance. But tomorrow will be your pick day, because as we go into Sunday, we all know what happens. The rain picks up and the humidity comes back as well. So the zone forecast, the inland areas today, a big difference compared to yesterday. Only upper 60s for most areas. Maybe once you work further inland, you could see a 70 or 2, but clouds really are going to be the story through the afternoon. The next 7 days of your wonderful life are right there on the screen. 75 tomorrow, 77 on Sunday. The rain picks up and showers and storms each day with rising humidity through much of next week. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Have the best summer ever with endless adventures at Girl Scout Summer Camp. Financial aid available, open to all girls. For more information, call or go to gswny.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. In an effort to help our furry friends find a forever home, we're partnered with the Chautauqua County Humane Society, and it's my favorite segment ever. It's the Pet of the Week. Joining us live is Amanda Sublett to talk more about this week's featured furry friend who is enjoying some of the great outdoors.
Hey there, this is my friend Flora. She's about 3 years old. You can't tell she's full of love. Definitely enjoys those hugs. She's a good kisser. Come here. She is an active girl, loves to play, loves to socialize with people and other dogs, but cats are a big no-no for her. She will chase after them. She's not going to be their best friend by any means. Thank you. Thank you. You turn around and say hi? Pretty girl. Yeah. She's definitely going to do well with children. She's a really easy girl to get to know, to get along with. Anybody who's looking for that first-time dog, she is a perfect fit for that.
Now, it is summertime here in Western New York, Amanda, and I know a lot of our furry friends like to get outside and play. How is she outside? Does she go after the tennis ball pretty well?
She does, but she actually gets to hang out with another friend. She has a dog named Dixie that goes outside with her, so they spend the whole time playing. Tennis balls compare like next to nothing when you have another friend to play with like that.
Absolutely. Do you think that she would do well in a household then with maybe multiple dogs? Obviously, she might have to be introduced to some of the residents before actually having a positive introduction.
Yeah, we do want her to go home with another dog. She would do best like that. It helps her with her confidence. But she's incredibly social and playful. So as long as they get along, it's not an issue. And we want to help you make sure that they do that before sending her home.
Absolutely. So if someone's watching this and they're interested in maybe learning more about Flora, or maybe they do have another dog and they want to do an introduction, are they able to come and meet her?
Absolutely. So we ask that everybody fill out our online application and add her name to that. It can be found on our website, chqhumane.org. Once we get that, we're going to give them a call and schedule that date to meet her and bring their dog to see how the two of them interact before sending them home.
And as you mentioned, she looks like, look at that tail of wagging today, really happy. Who doesn't like to be outside and enjoy the company of friends? So, absolutely. Amanda, Brian, and Flora, thank you both so much for coming on the show today. As mentioned, to learn more about our furry friend or anybody else who's at the shelter, it's super easy. Just head online to chqhumane.org. And certainly she looks like lots of smiles out there in the Bark Park, enjoying some of the beautiful weather that we're having out there today. So, well, that's going to do it for WNY News Now this week. Of course, we remind you news is always online at our website, WNYNewsNow.com, and on our mobile app. It's easy and free to download. Just search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. We'll leave you with this live look over Chautauqua Lake. Have a great weekend. Dakota and I are back here live at noon on Monday.